corner of the country that Bernie Sanders gave voice to in 2016 and continues to give voice to. Consistent polling shows Bernie is the most popular active political figure in America, which has those people in a panic. But what is below those top-line numbers is even more panic-inducing. Bernie Sanders is the most popular with voters of color. That flies in the face of what can only be called a lie of Trumpian proportions. The progressive change only appears to rabid white male hipster Bernie bros. It's not true now and never was. How Bernie won by Jeff Weaver.
This is the Tom Hartman Program.
Yes, indeed. You best believe this is DC's only independent radio station, We Act Radio, broadcasting live on the radical side of Martin King Avenue, on the belly of the nation's capital, here in the heart of Anacostia, the line of Anacostia, foothills of Cedar Hill. The line of Anacostia is Frederick Douglass Bicentennial. We introduce, or should I say interrupt, the Tom Hartman regular scheduled program to bring to you a special broadcast of Truth to Power with Patty Pat. And we will return to Tom Hartman at the conclusion of this interview. Thank you for listening. We Act Radio. Do something.
Hey, what's up? I'm Boots Riley. I'm the writer and director of Sorry to Bother You, which comes out in theaters July 6th. I'm here kicking it on We Act Radio.
Anacostia Unmapped 2.0 exhibition opens August 6th through September 14th at the CAH Gallery, 200 I Street, Southeast DC, celebrating the year of Anacostia. This exhibition turns Anacostia Unmapped, an award-winning radio documentary, into a cultural art experience featuring mixed media and multimedia artists Timon Freeman, V. Karoji Patrick, Katie Davis, John Johnson, Daniel Nathan, Sheila Kreider, Kennedy Johnson, Yetunde Sapp, Milani Douglas, Ania Khan Udufia, Demont Picasso Pender, Anacostia.
I Love the Prophet by Khalil Gibran. Please support We Act Radio. We love books.
Sharon, I don't know how to tag you. I don't know how to do that. Let me see. Turn this down. Okay, I'm turning that down so Facebook won't turn me off. How's everything? Sharon, I don't know how to tag you. I don't know how to do that. So let me know how to tag you. Don't know how to do that. How's everybody doing this afternoon? We're doing a special broadcast today because we didn't do anything last night. You know what, you guys? I need to make sure that my phone doesn't die. And I forgot the little block for my my charger. So I'm trying to see if I could hook this up this way. Wait a minute. You are tuned to the Truth to Power on We Act Radio in Southeast Anacostia, DC. Greetings, family. This is Patty Patton, and I am the host of Truth to Power and have a special edition broadcast today at We Act Radio for Truth to Power. There was a great and most beautiful celebration in Washington, D.C. yesterday with the 60th anniversary of Ben's Chili Bowl. Ben's Chili Bowl is a historic eatery restaurant that Ben Ali and, gosh, why did I forget her name so quickly? Virginia Ali. I'm sorry. Virginia Ali started 60 years ago. That institution, and it's an institution in itself, but it's an eatery, and it survived the riots that took place in the 60s, 70s here in Washington, D.C., as well as the subway. So it's a beautiful thing that 60 years in Washington, D.C. with Ben's Chili Bowl. So Kimon attended that yesterday, and I attended that yesterday as well. And we decided to do this broadcast today, which is a beautiful thing. So thank you all for tuning in. I'm looking on my Facebook page, and I see some people that I haven't spoken to in a minute that I really need to have on my show, Mr. Mike Ellison and Sabir Bey. Shout out to Mike and Sabir. You guys are some powerful, powerful men with some beautiful messages for our people. So thank you for tuning in this afternoon, because it's usually evening on Wednesdays. But what we're doing today is we're talking to one of my really good friends, and I consider her a good friend. I heard her speaking about a topic that I'm very, very passionate about. Very, very passionate about. It's a topic of divine partnership, in where we really know who we are as divine beings having this human experience. So I'm not trying to talk above anybody's head today. We're going to kind of keep it on level. But my guest this afternoon is a empathic reader and a spiritual advisor. We have Sharon Andrea on the line. Sharon, are you there? Are you there, Sharon? Are you there, Sharon? Okay. Yes.
Okay.
All right. I'm trying to get some things situated in the radio station so I can keep it together. But hold on one second. Let me just let the listeners who you are. Just speak a little bit about who you are and what you're doing right now.
Okay. Well, my name is Sharon Andrea, and it's a pleasure to be back on Patty's show today. I was on her show about, I think it was a year ago, Patty?
Yeah.
And that time I was talking about sacred sexuality. So if anyone doesn't know me, I am on a twin flame journey and path, and I'm an empathic reader. I'm also a coach. So whether or not you're on a twin flame path or ascension path, it doesn't matter. And so I have the ability to read energy, and I can read the energy between two people. It doesn't matter. Past, present, I do past life regression and so on. I'm also a speaker. I'm also doing a book called The Return of the Garden of Eden. It's an audio book, and it's considered to be the modern version of the Bible, modern version. And it's not where anything is going back into old ways. It's just a review, because we're on a past life review, because there's a lot of changes that are happening on the planet, and so we're here to awaken each other. So even with what's happening with me right now is that there's so much energy that's going on that I'm able to bring it forward, so that way we have not only just more clarity, but that there's less chaos within ourselves as we bring it together, So, and we bring it together in truth and with harmony.
Right. So, okay, let me make this work because I'm getting some feedback over here. So let's speak a little bit about what's going to happen this weekend. You and Tavon Powell are both empathic readers, spiritual advisors, healers, and you both are going to be here at We Act Radio this Saturday, August 25th, from 2 to 6 p.m., and you're presenting a program and readings called Awakening the Self. So can you let the listeners know what you'll be providing within that program, Awakening the Self?
Well, I can honestly tell you I don't have anything pre-planned or pre-programmed. I'm just going to be going by where I'm guided to share wisdom and knowledge and information to do with this journey. And so myself and Tavon, we don't have anything specific. We're just going to go with that flow of what we're to speak on. And I implore anyone who plans to attend, have questions ready. If you had general questions that you'd like to ask, because we're doing this together collectively. And we're also going to be providing readings if anyone is interested in a private reading session. I consider myself and Tavon to be so close in accuracy because we're so in tuned on that frequency with information. And a lot of times there's several people that's had readings from myself and him, and they get, the same similar information. I bring forth the information from the divine feminine perspective, and he brings it on from the masculine perspective as well. And really, like I said, what this is about is bringing truth and clarity for each and every one of us on this journey with no judgments whatsoever. Right. So it's really exciting. We're all looking forward to this because we're doing this live in person. This is going to be the first time that I'm actually doing a workshop, which has been my desire for a very long time. So it's going to be like some powerhouses coming together, powerhouses coming together. And it is very, very exciting. And of course, I'm looking forward to seeing my sister too.
Absolutely. One thing, listeners, I want you guys to understand that there are some of us that are very clear that we have divine missions in this lifetime. And we're very clear that the Creator itself has provided us all of the things that we need, all the gifts that we need to assist us in this journey to help people to raise their consciousness vibration. And I myself, was awakened to this truth about myself back in 2012, and I've been on this journey ever since. And I met Tavon, 4 years ago. We were trying to do something, collectively to bring our people together so they can understand how divine and how beautiful that they truly are and how much power they have. And I was listening to Sharon on a show, and that's how I met her. And then I told them both, I'm like, you both have to meet each other. So look where we are right now. We're in a space where, we're able to continue to provide this most powerful information for anyone that is open to listen to it and open to accept it and move into it, because it's very important that we understand who we are as divine beings and what our roles are in this lifetime. Would you agree with that, Sharon?
Absolutely, absolutely. And, one of the messages that I've been getting from Spirit, because when I get information, it's not just to do with one individual person per se, but I'm able to read the energy collectively as well. So I know, like, between yesterday and today, I've been getting so much downloads and messages continuously for the past several weeks anyway, but it's increased even more because it's important for us to also understand what is happening astrologically, energetically with the moon cycles. And so it's no coincidence that we're gathering on the full moon in Pisces. Mars is also going direct. And we've had to go through so much review and clearing through so many timelines and clearing through so much energy and retemplating new timelines, So we're doing all of this for Mother Earth, for Mother Gaia. And from what is happening, there's so many of us who are on especially this twin flame path and, ascension path, is that we're bringing it together collectively with new DNA codes. And it's important to understand that these codes are coming in place, coming from the planet Sirius. Syrian and Palladian codes is mainly what I've been receiving.
Wait a minute. Hold on one second.
That we've still been,
my mic is not hot.
Is what's releasing. And the other message, too, that I've been receiving a lot is change in relationships. A lot of relationship retemplating as well.
Right.
And it's important to understand what it means and where it is.
Sharon, can you hear me?
Now in this present time.
Sharon, can you hear me?
Share that.
Okay.
I couldn't hear you.
I know you couldn't hear me. Now you can hear me. Yeah, my mic went out. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay.
All right. Yeah. So I want you to kind of like slow it down a little bit.
Okay.
Because we have some listeners that don't understand, what you're talking about with the Syrian and the Palladian and the full moon in Pisces and all these kind of things. Those are things that are just second nature to us. But if you can kind of just back up a little bit and kind of let the listeners know what's going on energetically. I can just preface that as above, so below. So I want the listeners to know that things that are going on in the universe, as far as the planets, the stars, these things that are in the I guess it's not astral realm, but, things that consist of, planets, stars, and things of that system, that energy, is also applied to us down here on Earth. So, can you kind of explain to the listeners what you mean when you speak about the new moon coming in and that energy, and what does that energy mean?
Well, is the full moon actually energy? And, we think back to ancient times. I can't hear you again. I don't know if you were speaking.
No, I'm not.
You. Okay, now I can hear you now. Okay, so if we think back to, the ancient times, there are many of us that have incarnated back again during this time, because this is the awakening ascension time frame. And what happened, I remember when you had mentioned, Patty, I don't remember which show it was, you mentioned about many of us have come back as shamanic healers, soothsayers, spiritual, empathic healers, and we came back, from these times to bring on these gifts. And so it's important for us to pay attention to the cycles of the moon, the cycles of each aspect of your sign and how it relates to who you're connected to, because that's what the truth is. So even though I know you're saying slow down, but we can't slow down anymore, because it's time for our people to awaken to the truth, to awaken to what is really happening in this present time. Every second of the day, you are aspecting something astrologically what's happening in your life in these times of change. And so if you want to be in the light of things, pay attention. Get your chart read. See what is happening in your life. If you want to stay in the dark, then you're just going to keep going along blindly, and then you might be looking at it from a different perspective, like, oh, something's attacking you, or this person is saying something against you. And so it's important to be mindful of anyone that you're having issues with your family, your friends, your coworkers, your boss, whoever it is, that there is something that you're looking at here and something that you're shifting out of your life. And it's not just you personally, it's for the whole earth that we're doing this. We're releasing energy that no longer serves us. And so everything plays a part together. And so I'm here again, me, in a new form, to help each other, for us to bring it together, bring all those pieces together. So if you can explain, Patty, like how when you talk about from back in Kemet, with the goddess Aset and everything that, had come together, because we're picking up all these pieces from all, parts of ourselves and one another, and this journey, so that way we are really bringing back who we were as gods and goddesses, and coming into that acceptance, you see, and understanding it fully. Okay, we're not fragmenting any longer.
Right. Well, you know what? The word fragmenting, all these different things, I'm going to ask you again to kind of keep it very, very simple, because I know that some of the listeners are not familiar with this. They're interested in just their horoscope, at this point. And, and what a new moon is, and what a full moon is, and what that energy does, and what all of that truly, truly, truly means. So, let's get down to it.
The new moon usually represents when you're setting out intentions for what you're going to do different or new for yourself. Because like I said, it all depends on what's aspecting for you. Because you all have a sun sign, a rising sign, a moon sign. I'm not an astrologist, but this is what Spirit is telling me, and I have to tell you what I'm feeling and what Spirit is guiding me to say. And when it comes to the full moon, it's usually what things you're releasing, and usually it means there's a form of a ceremony that usually would happen, especially with the feminine principle, because the feminine principle is what was taken away from scriptures and scrolls and all of that stuff. And as I said before, the way how things were back in the past, with how people were killed and were maimed and hung and all that stuff, for bringing all this information, because they would not allow for it to come forth in its clarity, you see. And so if you feel you're listening to me right now and you don't understand, that means it's time for you to understand. It is time for you to awaken to your true self and who you really are. And a part of this process is that we're not to dumb down this anymore, this information. We're not to be in hiding anymore with this information. We are to be and come forth with it and not even concern yourself with how someone else receives the information, because it's about your soul, not your physical body, your soul. And your soul knows the truth. So it's a go with that flow of what your soul is speaking to you, what it's saying to you, you see?
Right.
So that way the journey itself becomes easier, because no matter what, we're all heading and we're there at a place. So I say it in two different contexts. We're heading somewhere and we're there at the same time. Because a lot of times, you know, with human beings, we tend to look externally at things. And when I do readings for you, I'm not just going to say, oh, this is what's going to happen. No, it's important for you to understand why it's happening. Where is it coming from? How do you connect to it? How are you perceiving it? You see?
Right.
So whether I come to you from a scriptural sense or an astrological sense or a 3D perspective, I'm going to give it to you from the 5D, all perspectives. Because that is what the soul is up to. We're up to many, many things from many, many sides and many, many perspectives, you see?
Right.
And so now's the time to really ask yourself this question: are you ready to really, truly understand all of this information and remembering it? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you know, we're having a little bit of technical difficulties over here at We Act Radio. There's a lot. I'm hearing some feedback in my microphone, and sometimes my microphone is off. So, Mr. Freeman, can you check that out for me, please? Appreciate that.
Because I'm looking at your face, you know, I'm not listening.
I know. I'm getting some feedback.
I see you blowing kisses. Like, is she kissing me or?
No, that was for Dea, peace. Yes. All right, so that's cool. So if anybody would like to call in right now at We Act Radio, the phone number here is 202-889-9797. If you have a comment or question for Sharon, Andrea, we can accommodate you here. We are live on Truth to Power here at We Act Radio in Southeast Washington, D.C. with your host, moi, which is Patton. So you can call in, ask Sharon a couple of questions. She and Tavon Powell are powerful diviners. They will be here this Saturday at We Act Radio from 2 to 6 p.m. And they will be providing short presentation, you know, about whatever spirit leads and guides them to speak about. And they will also be doing readings, some very short readings. And the cover charge is $10. And you can make your way over here to We Act Radio. So Sharon,
yes.
let's talk a little bit about divine love, because I think that people have really taken this thing out of context, romantic love. And I was speaking to someone about this last night. And I consider myself as an indigenous person of this earth, an autochthonous person of this earth, as a black woman. And I reference many things and most things from an African context as far as spirituality is concerned, because if we are the creators of all of this, then we have to understand and know what that is and what that means. So as far as relationships are concerned, or unions are concerned, what does that look like? You know, as far as, you know, someone saying, well, I'm in a relationship with somebody, and then someone saying I'm in a twin flame union, because everything is not all so romantic about this union, because it's such a sacred and such a high vibrational frequency that each counterpart has to carry. So from that standpoint, can you kind of just, you know, give an example or provide some information about relationship as opposed to a divine union?
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you from what I talk about in the book, as well as what is being shown to me, to explain as the way that I have to explain it from a higher perspective, of course. Relationship has to do with how we relate to ourselves and how we relate to others. Union has to do with the union of the soul, which that had been in place from the moment of our creation. So there's a difference between what was created and then becoming incarnated on the planet. And so what happened is everything that started from the beginning of time, what we call Atlantis, the Garden of Eden, which is what the book is called, or, you know, whichever way, you know, all the different names that was used, but there's still something that started from somewhere. And we came into it, we were at a place of where we were all knowing of knowledge, wisdom, love, everything, because that's who we are. We're love. We are sexual beings, sexual energy that comes together. And so, you know, we came here, we were created, And some of us were divided into two separate aspects of representing the divine feminine and the divine masculine. And so it was labeled either as twin souls, twin flames. You know, there's even other things to understand, like you and I, Patty, are twin rays, you know, because some of us are having parallel experiences,
right,
okay?
Right.
And so the best way to understand ourselves from what we know is to have these experiences. And so throughout lifetimes, twin flames have incarnated to gain knowledge and these experiences. So that way what we're doing is now we're rewinding backwards. We're rewinding back to that state of purity when it comes to relationships, okay? So in the midst of it, what has caused confusion is that people have put the relationship aspect of the twin flame union in a box, like boyfriend-girlfriend. You're in love romantically, which you are in love with each other because it's a pure divine love, and it's not based on having conditions. And so we're here to bring on the true aspect of love, raise the consciousness of the planet, and also bring it in its clarity. And it's still happening, and it's happening now. So not everyone truly is aware of this, and that is showing up in your reality through all of your relationships. So even if, say, you incarnated here with your twin soul, and your twin is representing a part of you, you know, with something that you're demonstrating, and all of this is a part of what's bringing you into your union. And it includes even people you might work with, or it includes your children. It could be someone who's also a version of you and your twin, and it all interrelates together, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So it's important for people to understand this is what is really happening. So now what happens is when these two energies come together as a force, there's something that they call it, it's almost like Hieros Gamos, I think that's the name that's called it, something, it's a Holy Trinity, or the Trifold, or, you know, it's a union and represents the feminine, masculine principle, and it's in this triangle place. So, you know, Patty, you could give it in the African concept, you know, to what it is. And so all the symbols and all these things represent something to do with what comes together. What, you know, that's saying whatever God has joined together, whatever spirit joined together, no man, nothing can pull it apart, because it's a sacred path, it's a sacred union, and we already are chemically married to our counterparts. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's not subjected to just male and female either. It's like we're here to bring on different representation of a higher state of love. And it's like everything, when you come together with your twin counterpart, it's like you are triggering and activating so many parts of yourself. And you start to feel and have a kundalini energy. You start to open up all your chakras. There's things that are occurring during the moon cycles. You know, there's so many feminists who tell me that they're going through moon cycles, moon changes. The emotional body is healing, the physical body is healing, your spiritual body. It's all these things. You know, we're bringing on the element of telepathy. We're being able to communicate to one another, even if you're not in the same physical space. You know, when I was doing the live with Tivon earlier this week, and he asked me a very good question. How can I help people to understand what it means when you're in the separation phase? Because, you know, I get so many phone calls with readings, you know, especially the feminine part aspect, where if they don't hear from them or if they don't see them, then they're looking at it again, placing it in a relationship box, going by what they say or what they do and all of that stuff. And then what it does is it causes more pain. But it's through that pain that you're turning it back around and bringing it back to you, because it's a reflection of you. It's a mirror of you. Because everyone that you are in connection to, you're in contact with, is a mirror of you, and they represent an aspect of this true love. And what better way for true love to show up than to come in the opposite form? So when you feel the opposition, when you see the opposition, look at it from a perspective that if I didn't see it, if it didn't come out to light, whatever was hidden, whatever has been deep within the core of my being, what is it and how is it showing up for me to see myself and how divine I show up? So if even if your divine masculine or your divine feminine is saying specific words to you, go back within yourself. Always come from within yourself first. And then you bring it together and form it into like a circular formation in terms of make sure you bring it to yourself, you bring it to your counterpart, and then you bring it together. Like what's happening within my family that's showing up with myself and my twin? What's happening, to do with my boss? Am I disempowering myself? Am I speaking up now? Am I hiding from myself? How do I feel about my body? It's all these different things that come up for triggers for us to look at. And always remember, no matter how it shows up dynamically in your space as a relationship, because it's still a relationship.
Well, Sharon, wait a minute. I have to stop you because we're at the 30-minute mark. And I know you can go on and on and on. Oh, yes, but you need to hold on for a second. You all are tuned into Truth to Power on We Act Radio. And we're speaking with my guest this afternoon, Sharon Andrea. We're going to take a quick break. And we'll be back in about 3 minutes. And we'll continue this conversation with Sharon about the divine self. We'll be right back. Oh, God. Hold on, you guys. I am not trying to get shut down by Facebook because they be tripping. Big, 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 big time. Yeah, Daya, you need to come on Saturday. And you might need to call in just now and ask a question. 202-889-9797. You know what I'm realizing? My mic is not on sometimes.
Turn your mic off when you was having the immense amount of feedback.
But when I was saying something...
You have to keep your headphones behind the microphone, not in front of the microphone.
Okay, so you've been turning it off?
Yes.
Okay, because I was wondering what's going on. Because I would be saying stuff and I couldn't hear myself. Yeah, everybody call in 202-889-9797. And you can ask questions here at We Act Radio. Thank you, Day. I appreciate that. Yeah, you need to call in, sweet lover of mine, and ask Sharon a question. And don't make it too long. Don't make it too long. But just, I'm trying to see how I can set up my little thing because I was rushing today and I forgot my tripod for me to set this thing up. How's everybody doing this afternoon? No, it's 889. Wait, let me tag this. Call and I'm put this, you guys. 202-889-9797. Post. Okay. Okay, so I pinned the comment. So let me try to put this together, you guys. Sometimes I have issues with Facebook. And I'll be talking about them and I'm using a platform. You think I really care? Nah. No. I don't really care. Wait a minute. Alright, this is better. You go to the 3 little buttons on the right hand corner to see if the button to tag me. I'm on my phone and I don't see that. Hey, everybody tuning in. I'm doing my show today, this afternoon. Sharon Andrea is my guest this afternoon. And y'all, if you don't know, Fishbone is in town this evening. They'll be at the Fillmore. I grew up with Chris Dowd. He's part of Fishbone. I'm going to try to do an interview with them before they go on live tonight, before they start performing. Kimon, do you hear me when I talk? Let me tell him. I don't know if you guys follow Fishbone, but they're a really great black rock group that was out in the 80s, 90s. Come on. Fishbone is performing at Fillmore tonight, and I grew up with one of the guys in the group. You want to go?
What time?
I think they start at 7.
I'm stuck here till 8 o'clock.
Oh, okay. I was trying to get an interview with them, with Fish and everybody, but Chris didn't call me until like a little while ago. Chris Dowd, I hope you're watching this, because you called me late. Hey, Dirk. Prince de Jour. You could teach me something, brother. For real. How are you? First time here. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you. Hopefully you're in the DC area and you could come out in Southeast Anacostia. Wait a minute, hold on a second. I'm trying not to play any music because the Facebook police be jacking me up and cutting my broadcast off. So I gotta improvise. I'm the illustrious energy of Petey Green right now, but I'm just not cussing. But hopefully y'all can hear that. Rock steady. Sending the Queen peace and love, Aretha Franklin. It's the soul music. Yes. Yeah, they don't flag. You are tuned in the Truth to Power on We Act Radio in Southeast Anacostia, DC. And this is Patty Patton, and I'm your host of Truth to Power. And we just are coming back from a break with my very special guest this afternoon, Sharon Andrea. Truth to Power is always here on Wednesday evening. We're doing a special broadcast today in preparation for the presentation that Sharon Andrea and Tavon Power are going to provide here at We Act Radio this Saturday, August 25th from 2 to 6 p.m. We're located at 1918 Martin Luther King Avenue in Southeast Anacostia, D.C. And if you have any information, if you'd like to, 323-401-9899. That's 323-401-9899. Or you can email tpow8777 and I'll provide that information for you at the end. It's $10 and they will be providing readings. Okay, so we are back from the break. Sharon, are you there, sis?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, hold on, Sharon, before you start, we have a caller. This is caller number 1. Caller, you are tuned into Truth to Power. I'm your host, Patty Patton. We have Sharon Andrea here. And what is your comment, question, and what's your name?
Hi, this is Dea. Hello, Queen Patty.
Peace, Dea.
Sharon Andrea. Greetings. I haven't been able to meet you yet in person, but I cannot wait. Saturday is still up in the air for me. I may be in Philly. But regardless, we're definitely going to have to meet before I go back to California. Absolutely. My question is, how do I narrow it down? I have so much going on. Just since May, having to do with my twin flame. And just really everything that is intense about the experience has me facing my fears, facing my self-truth, and just really looking at myself. I know Patty has given me so much advice that has helped me not get lost in the whole romantic relationship of it all, because the way that I call my twin to me is a little different, or a lot different than the stories that I'm hearing from people. Just being involved in the different groups and exposing myself to different relationships with people who are familiar with the twin flame.
So what's your question? Quick.
Okay.
Well, I'm getting a lot of messages, because as soon as you start talking, I'm feeling energy. So go ahead.
How much studying do you do in relation to how you are also guided by spirit? How much do you rely on your intuition and your relationship with spirit, and
writing and, I guess, rightly dividing truth when it comes to your tools and your books and your study?
Okay, well, one of the most important things, based on what I'm hearing you say, is we must always trust what we feel and stay present, stay in the now. So I know that we have a lot of ancient texts and a lot of information out there in groups and all these things, but one of the things that I have gotten from my own self and I see on this journey is stay present. And really, really, really feel into it and feel the magic that you get with it, okay? Because everything, you're always connected to spirit all the time. And that's one of the main reasons for this journey is that spirit, God, universe, whatever you want to call him, her, Yahweh, is to get you to come back to yourself and to remember this connection. And it always starts from the feminine energy first also. I want to put that out there. The feminine energy, okay? Because we give birth to the masculine. We give birth to everything, okay? And so what I'm also hearing and feeling in your body is that there's still an underlying fear that you have in relation to your journey in believing in it too, okay? So believe in yourself and believe in your journey and don't look for anyone else to validate for you about this person being your connection, okay? Because I feel that's a block that I'm feeling coming from right in your solar plexus area. Okay.
Yeah, it just rose up. I don't know where it came from.
But you know what? Let me just add something. And I've been talking to Dea for a minute about this. And Dea, I just want to just impress on you to stay out of your head so much and trying to make sense of something that is that you can't make sense of, because it's you can only make sense of it from a soul vibration, from a frequency, and it's a knowing. It's not a believing, because a belief is a bridge to knowing something. It's something that you just have to know and then you have to stand in, because nobody can do that for you. You can only do that for yourself. You have to, and also to really pay attention to the different signs and symbols and things that are going on, within your connection to this person, but basically having the focus on yourself of what you're creating and knowing what you're supposed to be doing here in this dispensation, in this lifetime, because the journey of this union is about raising the consciousness vibe. What you are here to do, and then standing in that, and then recognizing all the other things that come with it. Because it to me, it's just like with the twin flame union actually becoming in a union, it's like the icing on the cake. But you really got to understand that there are some things that you have to clear within yourself, and you can't believe it. You got to know it. Belief is just
it regardless of
right.
what you see in the physical space. And also another thing too, I want to point out, because I keep forgetting to say this every time I talk, because I usually go back and listen to myself so I can see if there's anything, because there's so much information and so much to remember and to awaken to this path. And key thing is balance. Because there are some who focus too much on themselves and they forget about their beloved. And so it's everything comes together. And as you feel into yourself and you pay attention to what comes out of their mouth, what they say, what you get from the dream state, all of this is your clues, because their higher self is communicating with you and connecting to you. If you forget about that part of yourself, then what happens is you start to feel something, like whether you feel low in frequency or you feel confused or something, or the doubt might creep up, which is a part of the process. So I want everyone to understand who is on this journey that it's okay to have the doubt that comes in sometime, because as you get higher in this frequency, they say the higher you, the deeper you go, or the higher you go, is that the deeper you go into this pain or this level of feeling, like what is this? And you might feel the confusion and all that. And we're really accelerating and transcending through all of that. But remember that we are all coming into that greater state of balance. And that means that we're working together. We're honoring the self, honoring that person and their path and the timing of everything, and others. It all plays a part together, you see? And so at the moment that you're feeling something, then you ask yourself, what does this mean for me? What is showing up for me, for my inner child? Or perhaps there's something you could be feeling for them too, because sometimes people don't even talk about that. You will feel things that they're experiencing as well. Okay? So, and it relates. It relates. It's like if there's something you're experiencing with your family dynamic,
99.9 times there's something going on with their family dynamic that you're mirroring together. So it's never one-sided. It's never one-sided. I've had my own experience of feeling sometimes what my twin is eating and smelling what he smells. You know, I've had that. I'm like, where is this coming from? What is this? And it becomes magical sometimes, especially when I'm on the street or if I'm in connection with someone else who's on a twin flame path, and all these names pop up. And Patty knows, you know, there's so many of them that I'm in contact with, and it becomes amazing. So that way you don't forget that you're not alone. And you know, even if you feel the doubt creeping up, keep looking to your connection to the divine, because the divine is showing up through everything with the messages, you see, as you come together, as you're bringing yourself together. And that means that as you're bringing yourself together, that means the old system, the old structures, the belief systems, everything that you think you know is breaking down. And it is not, I repeat this implorably, it is not going to look like what you think it's going to look like when it comes to these unions. It may not happen the way you think it's going to happen, because it's to stay in this magical space. It can't be fit in a box, okay? And so it's like you're allowing you and not base it solely on the physical things, because still, I say everything is going to come together with these unions, and that means that we are bringing heaven down to earth.
Wait a minute, hold on a second, Sharon. Hold on. Daya, we appreciate you calling in and asking these questions. I hope that you'll be able to make it this Saturday if you're in town. I'm going to
try my best.
Yeah, because, and then, you know, just make sure you contact either Sharon or Tavon, because I have already referred them to you, so you can, you know, get a reading, because I think it would be very helpful for some of the questions that you asked. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Daya. I appreciate it.
Welcome. Bye-bye. Peace.
Yeah. So, you know, I kind of, you know, just want people to understand something here, because this may sound like something that is just so far out and just so ridiculous. But we're in a space right now where we need to tap back into our divine selves. Sharon and Tavon are here to actually assist us with that. And I can too. I'm an empath, you know, as well. But the way that I feel and I do things is not in the same magnitude as Tavon and Sharon is, because my role is really to bring people together. This is one of the things that I know that, you know, I've been called to do. But Sharon and Tavon most definitely have this gift and have been aware of this gift for their lifetimes. I just didn't know what mine was, you know what I mean? Because I've always been able to bring people together, create a space of love and of healing through what I cook, you know, with me doing the nails and even going to dental hygiene school and cleaning teeth. You know what I'm saying? All of that stuff has to do with healing and restoration. But Sharon, thank you, Stephanie, for messaging Tavon. I appreciate it. If anybody could text him, I would appreciate that, for him to call in, because we're doing having a very powerful presentation and readings here this weekend, on this, you said it's a full moon, right?
Yes. It's
okay.
A full moon in Pisces.
Yeah, full moon in Pisces.
Yeah, Mars goes direct, and we're also in Virgo season, and the Virgo, season represents Earth, and I think of it as feminine, and what Spirit is showing me is how much more we're grounding, templating these new codes and what we're feeling. You see what I'm saying? It's coming more into physical space.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you know, one thing that I want people to understand, and you can, you know, expand on this too, Sharon, is that, you know, the abilities and the gifts that the Creator provides us with in order to carry with us through this life journey. Does everybody have this, or does everybody not have this at this point?
Everyone has the ability to tune into things. It depends on how much you choose to tap into it. But of course, we all have different gifts that is not the same as my twin and my divine complements gift, is because it all comes together. So what I say is that what I said earlier, we are not to dumb down ourselves, means that there's something more that's grander
of who we are, and we're bringing in our higher selves, onto the earth. And so it's that part of ourselves is awakening to connecting from the heart, because the heart is what leads the way. The heart is what brings the truth. The heart is what keeps us connected. That part of it, and it's in such a pure space. Do you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, but when we choose to turn away from the heart, or if we choose to turn away from our gifts, then what happens is that's when things start to fragment and break down. And that's the reason why when some people turned away and they start to go to be with other people, and all that calamity started with trying to be with people that we're not necessarily connected to, and then try to make it happen. When they said that the masculine turned away from the feminine, and then the feminine, it's so much of these wounds that we're healing. And you see, as we bring it back together again, then what happens is we're like turning on another grid with this power that we have, where it's not abused anymore, see, and coming from a space of integrity with our gifts. And so when you think of the movies like X-Men and Guardians of the Galaxy, all these things were shown to me from spirit, the Black Panther, this is for real. It shows up in that space, and it depends on where you are at your level of consciousness to see what is happening, because these gifts are coming back. Some people, it's already started, but they're not talking about it yet. You see what I'm saying? And it's very powerful, and it's what connects us to how we're really going to be on the planet. We were not suffering and having to work for things. Things are manifested into our reality because we are the co-creators of the universe, you see? And we're not doing it alone. There is also galactic energy that's assisting us. So, it's like I said this too, is that it's like some people are operating from a space of, it's like day-to-day, that 3D dimensional consciousness and matrix, and that matrix is breaking down. And that's why I said the time has come now that everyone is to tap into this, to feel into it, to really connect to all of this, because this is where the truth lies with us, and how we're coming together in our queens and king status, because that's how we were created, to be kings and queens. That's how it was shown to me when I started out on this full-blown journey, okay, as kings and queens. I did not hear anything with the labels of twin flames and twin souls, and all I saw was that every one of us is connected to someone of that particular frequency. And that frequency, these frequency and codes are coming together as each person individually, who they're connected to, and then as a whole. And as it comes together as a whole, that's what breaks down that old grid. And this new grid is what's coming in now, rapidly.
Well, and it just gives me an idea of what I was thinking about the other day, with Donald Trump, being, the president of the United Snakes, where we are right now.
You said the United Snakes?
Uh-huh. And and Donald Trump.
He's doing a great job.
Yeah. He's playing his role because he's helping to provide everybody that has these hoods on to take them off, so we can really see who these people truly are. So, when you have that awareness, then you know how to maneuver, because, no one's in secret anymore. I mean, we are in the age we're in the age of information. And the people, I'm going to tell you right now, the people that call themselves in this conscious community, or call themselves of providing information, and you are not living your life in the context of where you know that you're supposed to, and you go against it, you have your free will to do it. But trust that there are going to be consequences that come along with that as well. Because the ego never rules. The ego is just there as a determinant to gauge yourself on how you are within your true self. That's why I named the show Truth to Power, because it was all about, knowing the power in truth. And, I was speaking to someone the other day too. I guess it was Irritated Genie, about the show that we're doing, once a month on sexual abuse, and how the energy of that has just permeated the Black community, and it's in other cultures too. So I'm not really focused on that because I'm focused on my people. But how that energy has not been healed. And now that it's coming to the forefront of people, you know, being revealed of sexually abusing other people and people coming out in the open speaking about it, because it's time for us to place ourselves in a space where the universe is allowing us to manifest greatness, and we have to let those barriers go and that heaviness go. And, you know, with this twin flame, this is what we call it, divine counterpart relationship. Baby, you can call it all what you want, but when you get around that person and their energy is off the chart, you can't say nothing. You can't say nothing. You can't say nothing about it, Slim, because it is what it is. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, the soul, when it comes to coming together with your twin, because I remember when I came into my twin's presence, I couldn't move. I was just like still, and I felt the presence of God. Because that's what it is. It's like it's not a small thing. It's a huge thing, you know. And it's not anything like we say in my country. It's not dibby. It's not the little thing going on here. It's major. It's of major proportions. And what is happening is that it's all becoming transformational. We are transforming ourselves. We are really becoming bigger into ourselves in the physical space now. You see, that's the thing, because people are going to start to see their bodies changing right before their eyes. It's just so many things that one may not expect to see happen, but it is. But I also wanted to tell you something really quickly when you were talking about the sexual abuse, and because I was having an interesting conversation with my kids just 2 days ago, and I told them, I said, well, one of the reasons why there has been, you know, these sexual abuse things, because another reason why twins are here is to shift out all the old patterns and behavior surrounding sexuality, you know? And it's the distortedness of sex that has brought on these things. And until when we bring it out in the open and talk about it openly and heal through it. But how we heal through it is that we have to heal through it from ourselves, because we've all been the victims and the victors of every single thing that has happened on planet Earth. And the way for it to end and to really have it dissipated is to really go within ourselves and not just pointing it outward, see, until it starts trickling. And that's what twin souls are here to do. That's a part of this process as well. So I just wanted to, you know, make light of that as well.
Okay, so I've got the 5-minute cue. We're gonna wrap this up really soon. Yes, once again, as I said, Sharon Andrea is my guest this afternoon on Truth to Power right here on We Act Radio. Sharon is an empathic reader and a spiritual advisor, and she knows so much about the twin flame dynamic. And yes, Dea posted on Facebook, healing is the answer. Healing is all what it is. It's all about self-love. And a lot of times people don't really understand that we create the experiences in our lives, so we have the capability and the ability to love ourselves when we have not done it on our own. We create these experiences with other people that assist us to honor ourselves, to love ourselves, because we are love, and because we're in this physical space, we have not known what that is because of the vibration of this planet. But, you know, Tavon and Sharon are going to get deeper into that on Saturday. I implore everyone to come out, because I think it would be something very enlightening for everyone to experience something about learning something new about themselves, you know, and especially divine, because divine means pure. In their divine self, in their pure self. So this is Saturday, August 25th from 2 to 6 p.m. here at We Act Radio. The address is 1918 Martin Luther King Avenue, Southeast in Anacostia. For more information, you can call 323-401-9899. Again, the phone number is 323-401-9899. And the cover is just a measly $10. $10. So we're going to wrap this up really quickly. Sharon, can you provide the listeners with your information if they'd like to contact you for a reading or, you know, anything that you have to offer, you know, in your gifting?
Yes, feel free to visit my website. Is www.thereturnofthegardenofeden.com. Also, you can check out my Facebook page, Sharon Andrea, The Return of the Garden of Eden. You can also send me an instant message on Facebook, Sharon Andrea, and also feel free to check out my YouTube, Sharon Andrea. Thank you so much for joining us on this show, and I look forward to anyone who's coming out into the Washington, D.C., Maryland area over the weekend.
All right.
Be with you.
All right. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, and I'll see you tomorrow, sis. See you tomorrow.
Ma'am.
All right, peace and love. So we just had a wonderful conversation with Sharon Andrea. She is, an empathic reader, spiritual advisor, and she and Savon Powell will be right here at We Act Radio for a presentation this Saturday, August 25th, from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. $10 is the cover. For more information, you can call 323-401-9899. You can call or text. And I want people to know that Fishbone is in town this weekend. The reunion of the California Black rock group Fishbone is in town. One of the members, Christopher Dowd, was my neighbor in Los Angeles, and it's going to be a wonderful show tonight at the Fillmore. I'm going to try to, speak a little bit with them on Facebook Live, and you guys just tune in a little bit later, all right? And I'll provide that little interview for you. So thank you so much for tuning in on Facebook Live this afternoon, everyone. I'll be back next week on Wednesday evening at 6 p.m. on Truth to Power. And always remember this: in order to find the truth, the false must be removed. Always, always speak truth to power. Rest in power. Rest in power, Aretha Franklin. We love you. We love you. Peace and love. All right, everybody. I'm about to turn this music off, so I will not get in trouble with the Facebook police, because they trolling the heck out of me. Thank you so much for tuning in, you all. And I'm going to leave this broadcast up so everybody could, sit and look at it or whatever. But I implore people to come out and get a reading. We had shamans in our indigenous and autochthonous communities. And, thank you, Daya. I love you too, sis. And love you too, Sharon. Love you too. And we need to get back to who we truly, truly are. Most people are not going to understand you. Most people don't understand me, but they all just love me. They just love me for me. And if they don't love me, well, that's their problem. So anyway, thank you all for tuning in this afternoon. And I'm going to bring that little broadcast live with the group Fishbone this evening, all right? All right, y'all. Peace and love. Have a beautiful and peaceful and prosperous today. Hotep.